They say into your early life, romance came, and it came, and it came, and it came.
Alright guys, just arrived to the Venetian. I actually parked at the Palazzo. I'm gonna walk over one of my old-time favorite places to play poker. I know they have a bad rep right now, especially with some of the poker players, but I don't get into the politics or the drama of all that. I actually don't play here as much as I used to, but when I first started playing poker, this was one of the spots that, you know, was a staple. I always had to experience playing poker at the Venetian. Had a couple of good runs, but as of recently, the type of competition sort of slowed down. As always guys, get their, forgive my pronunciation, grazie card. That's their promotion card. I'm gonna cut away to the promotions here. I know I haven't even edited my last video. I am running behind, especially when I'm doing all these home renovations and stuff like that. Especially if you're doing it yourself, it's just taking a long time. But I'm hoping pretty soon, once I'm done, I'll be able to post more of these videos and get them up sooner. I know I'm about 3 weeks late to edit the meetup game, and I have to edit 2 more videos before you'll see this one. So I apologize for that guys. Also, if you want to get some updates on when I actually do go to have these sessions and all that stuff, you can follow my Twitter and Instagram. You can message me, ask me questions there. I always post when I'm about to do one of these videos. That being said, we're gonna walk from the Palazzo, we're gonna walk down to the Venetian, and we're gonna go sit down and play some 1-2 no limit. It is a little bit of a walk to go from the Palazzo to the Venetian, but at least you get to see this little garden setup that they have. It's the Beatles' love right now, but they change it every couple of months, and it's really beautiful during the Chinese New Year. Also, to let you guys know, last weekend I went down to California. I ran my Spartan Beast. That was super fun. One of the hardest things I ever did physically in my life, but I was able to complete it, completed my trifecta, and now that all the big to-dos for the year of 2018 is done, I get to focus on playing a lot more poker and the holidays. Thanksgiving's right around the corner. Next week is Halloween. It's gonna be busy. Alright guys, no mid-session update. I am just wrapping up my session at the Venetian. It was a pretty good table. There was a lot of fun people at my table, and actually one of my friends from work, one of my coworkers, Jeff, he was down here and he got a table change to my table, so we got to play a little bit against each other. Unfortunately, I did not book a win in this session. Overall, I took a couple weeks off, so I took about 2 weeks off. I didn't play as good as I wanted to, definitely not. Made a couple of mistakes, played a wider range. It's just been a long time. I got into a few hands, and I got into one big hand that I do want to talk to you guys about, that I made a really bad decision on the river. All right, let's talk about this one, guys. I am in early position and I have 9-10 of hearts. There's one limper ahead of me and I elect to limp behind. There are 3 other limpers and we're 5 ways to a flop. The flop comes 7 of hearts, 8 of hearts, and the king of diamonds. So it checks over to me, and I put in a bet for $10. I get 1 call in the small blind, and the rest fold. The turn brings the 3 of diamonds, so it brings in a backdoor flush draw. Checks over to me again, and I bet $15. Now the small blind decides to raise at this point, and he raises it to $50. And at this point, I figured I have a super strong hand. I have an open-ended straight draw, a flush draw, open-ended straight flush draw. I have a shit ton of outs that can help me out. So I'm definitely not folding for 50 bucks, so I go ahead and put in the call. And the river comes the jack of diamonds, so the backdoor flush comes through. And the small blind decides to bet $130, which puts me all in. So I went into the tank, and for some reason I was just having a lot of trouble processing the hand or what had happened. There was a lot of table talk going on. There was people, like, it was just really loud. It was really hard for me to focus. So I thought about it for a very long time, and I figured he's effectively shoving all in against me. He's a fairly good player at the table. He definitely knows what he's doing, and I ultimately put in a fold. I wasn't happy about that fold after I did it. I did fold it face up in hopes that he would have flipped over another hand or something. But let that be a lesson to me, definitely, that sometimes I need to try and think about the hand, and even if I need to think about it out loud. I was just having a lot of trouble in that spot. I'll play the clip here.
Crazy young. Yeah, I wouldn't put him past 35. I definitely wouldn't put him past 35.
I know. You surprised she's older than me?
He's pathetic. I'm serious. He doesn't even look 30 to me. Maybe I'm just bad at this.
I'm horrible at ages too, but I would say 30, 32, 33.
28. He's 12. He's in a hand. I shouldn't be picking up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I'm gonna take a minute.
Honey. You're good.
We're so busy talking, we're not even paying attention to what's going on.
I am. I'm paying attention.
Good.
I have to.
I'm paid to. Do your job, lady.
Man, even when I'm editing this video, I can tell that I was going through a little bit of brain fog, and I don't know, I beat myself up a lot about this particular hand, and I was thinking about if I should include it in this video or not, but I wanted to keep it real and show you guys that I don't play 100% all the time. And you know, sometimes when you're going through stuff, or you have some hidden tilt, or you had a long work week or whatever, and you sit down on the table, ultimately if you're making these mistakes, you're just not going to be earning as much money. Now, in retrospect, I was able to think about the hand a little bit, and I discussed it with some people, and definitely I should be calling a lot of the rivers. I should actually be snapping it off. There's not a lot of hands or combinations that he would be playing that beat me on this particular river. And then also, if I'm going to be calling the turn raise, I'm basically, I shouldn't be folding on rivers that hit my range. So I should be calling off this shove. Yeah, I was just going through, you know, a bad session, but luckily I was able to recognize that the session wasn't going my way. And you guys can notice there was a lot of talking going on at the table, and the talking was going on right next to me, and I just couldn't think about it. But if I'm calling the turn there and a card that I needed on the river hits, there's probably no reason for me not to call that shove, even though it's for the rest of my chips. He didn't show, and he explained to me that he would tell me at the end of the session. So a couple hours later, our table broke, and I ended up asking him what he had, and he said he had pocket sevens for the flop set, which makes a lot of sense, and that's also gonna be the all-in hand of the session. All right, let's talk about this one too. So I'm in early position, and I have the ace of diamonds and queen of clubs. I decide to raise it up to $12, and there are 4 calls ahead of me. The flop comes 8-7-3 with 2 hearts. Checks to me, and I elect to check with my 2 overcards. Player in middle position, who's one of the super drunk players, decides to put in a bet of $15. There's 1 call ahead of me, and I elect to make a call. I figured there's a lot of money in the pot already, and $15 is just too small with 2 overs. And she could have a whole bunch of cards. She could have any single pairs, middle pair, low pair. She was putting out the bet if she hit or connected any type of flops. So there's 3 of us to a turn. The turn comes the king of diamonds, and the action actually checks through. So the river comes a blank. I think it was the 2 of clubs, and it checks to me, and I elect to bet $60, and I get 2 folds. So that bluff comes through, and really happy about that one. Sometimes you just play bad. Today was just one of those days for me. But I was in for 510, and unfortunately I only cashed out for 190. So a couple $100 lost, about 300 and some bucks, 320 bucks lost. But it's okay. We're still gonna grind, and you know, at least I was able to knock out another video. I like playing in the Venetian sometimes, but a lot of the times there's a lot of good players that I encounter whenever I come down here to play. So if I get card debt, I really can't get so creative like I usually would like to. So no love in the all-in series. Luckily I did win a lot at the meetup game, but I'm not counting any other sessions. The money that I make in this YouTube series is gonna stay in this bankroll. And obviously I do pull out money every now and then to support the vlog, and you know, just for the vlog and stuff like that. So yeah, as always guys, if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. I'm always messing around with different formats in my videos, so please comment if you see something that you like, or if you want to see more poker hands or whatever, and thumbs up the video. Also, hit me up on social media. Message me, DM me, or something. I want to get a little bit more active, and I want to be able to share some of the hands that I have outside of these YouTube videos with you guys. So if there's any one of you guys that are willing to do some hand history reviews, or just do some poker chatting in general, go ahead and hit me up. So yeah, as always guys, I will see you in the next video. Let's run it up. Next week, let's get some fucking money. Hopefully the sessions will be better next time, so thanks. Just walking outside to get a breather before I head home. I'm sort of beating myself up a little bit about this 9-10 of hearts hand, because I keep telling myself, like, if I'm calling the turn, why am I not calling a river that hits my range? Especially when I need, you know, those are one of my outs. If I'm not going to be calling the river shove, then I shouldn't be calling the turn. But alas, I don't know. I am beating myself up a little bit, and a part of me wants to continue playing, and that happened a little bit earlier in the session, and a part of me wants to continue playing and go to another casino and try to play. But since I wasn't playing at my most optimal state, I'm going to opt out of playing. That's how you lose, and I think this is just invisible tilt that's going on with my emotions right now. So if you feel any sort of doubt where you don't know if you want to play or not, and you haven't been playing optimally,